Going through your statement here, you say that the planned release of 19,000 prisoners is bad news for police. Now, if this is bad news for police, it must then be catastrophic for the public. Give us an idea of why you make this statement.
Yes, thank you, Thami. Yeah, first of all, our main concern is that we hear that the 19,000 inmates who are being released are said to be the ones that have committed what they regard as petty crimes. The question is that are they actually releasing convicted inmates, or they are releasing those who are still awaiting trial? Because our problem with those that have been convicted is that once they are released, the likelihood with the conduct that they had with other inmates there is that they might come out being committing more serious offences, which is going to actually cause more of police officers to have contact. And in this instance where police do not have the necessary PPEs, they might have, their hands full because of, if you have now the 19,000 inmates that are out there that have not had any proof of rehabilitation, it might be a breed of hardened criminals that is going to create a lot of work for police officers who are already consumed and they actually lack capacity. As we speak, already 253 staff members of police officers are already being infected with COVID-19.
What the Ministry of Justice has said is that these are prisoners who were already in line for parole. So in effect, what will be happening is they will just be released earlier, but they were going to be released anyway. Does that fact and does that statement then change your view in the sense that none of these offenders should have committed any serious crimes like rape or murder?
Look, I just want to put it on record to say that when the lockdown started, we as the PSA will make a proposal to the minister on how we would like to see the DCS or correctional services managing the issue of COVID-19. And about 3 weeks later, they have not implemented our proposal. One of our proposal was to say that they need to actually manage the issue of allowing inmates to do more of exercise. And at the time, they were still even attending classes. And they were also not limiting leisure period for inmates, which already exposed the limited resources of correctional officials to deal with the inmates. Hence, we have seen that in the last 4 weeks of the lockdown, majority of our members who are correctional officials were also infected. So now the result is that pushing to say any way that they were going to do this. I think that is a shortcut, and they are avoiding the real situation of what is happening in the prisons. And I believe that they have failed to deal with the issue of prisons, which, as unions, made proposal that could have worked. So now the reason that comes that in any way they could have been released because they were on a waiting parole list. I think that is just to avoid the real issue that the prisons are not coping. They have not implemented the relevant measures from the onset dealing with the COVID-19, and now they are going to create a more problem for police officers because the police officers now, their hands are going to be full, are going to be out there combating crime at the same time dealing with the COVID-19 issues. We all know that majority probably that will be released. They are going back to our communities, and the question is that how are they going to be managed? Because everybody, even the citizens out there, are not coping with the situation. The economy is hard. Economic situations are very hard. So you might find that.
Reuben, there are a couple of things there that you've touched on, and before you go ahead, I'd like you just to clarify those. The first of them, you're saying that correctional services has not done enough to alleviate the possible spread of COVID-19 within South Africa's prisons. What they're doing now, by the release of these 19,000 prisoners, is exactly that, to ensure that COVID-19 does not become a pandemic within the prison system. So you're basically criticizing them for a measure that they have put in place. That is the first one. Just your response to that.
Well, my response is that, in fact, that's a way of trying to what we call recycling. You are recycling the problem. You are having a situation where you've got people that have not been rehabilitated. Then you send them back to the community. The likelihood is that they are going to commit other crimes. And again to say that they are going to have another contract with the same 19,000 inmates who probably might commit further crimes, maybe not even 30 times anymore, because they've been there, they have not been rehabilitated, and therefore it causes more problems, not only correctional service. The problem now is overlapped into the police services, and that is our concern.
One of the main things that you are concerned about, as you say here, is the shortage of police officers. So in your view, should there be more police deployed because of the 19,000 and because, as you say, that there is a high eventuality of people re-offending once they've been released?
Look, I'm saying that this is a chain. If you have got this dysfunctional correctional services, which does not even have capacity, you end up with this decision to say that let the inmates be released. But you are not solving the problem, because the problem that we are now pushing back again to the community is the problem that is facing now also for the police services. Because instead of correctional service being capacitated from the onset and dealing with the issue of making sure that prisons are safe, because I can say that I believe that the minister is responding to the violence and threats that happened in prisons. We've seen in the past weeks where prisons were violent, burning some of the prisons. Is that the response? I believe that is what it is responding to. Because you can't, when people threaten you with violence, you react by releasing them. So that is the problem that we're dealing with. The very same people that cause violence in the prison are going to be released. The likelihood is that they are going to communities, they are probably going to commit other crimes, and then they're going to leave the police services hands full.
So what is your solution that you are proposing as the Public Servants Association?
We proposed all the time from the onset that they should have dealt with the issue of COVID-19 from the onset, ensured that prison officials are protected and there's also capacity in the correctional center. We all know that there are other officials who are actually what we call non-center based and are not in the centers. And we're prepared to go and assist, but there was no capacity. They've not been called in to assist the center-based correctional officers. And if that could have been arrested, we could not have this situation. We are saying that the issue of the release, it should not be just only those that were actually going to be released, but they must consider those who are actually on awaiting trial. And then those who are on awaiting trial, if they could be released, then they can actually release some pressure from the prison. And then they can at least, at the end of the day, it's not like they are being left spot-free. They still have their time to come to court and answer to their actions.
So you would prefer awaiting trial prisoners to be released as opposed to those who have already served the maximum part of their sentence and are now eligible for parole? Is that what you're saying?
Look, now it is a facilitated way of saying you are releasing them earlier than the time. The question is that if you release them earlier than the time, are they ready to go out? Are they the ones that are fully rehabilitated? And that is the question that we're having. Because we believe that the minister is actually responding to violence that happened in the prisons. And that is wrong. You can't be now threatened with violence and start saying that in any way they are going to be released.
And what is the response from your members who are part of the South African Police Services? Are they the ones who are saying that they need to be better capacitated in the streets to be able to deal with the release of the 19,000 parolees?
Look, first of all, one must understand that police, for them to actually function on a daily basis, they must have a contract. And the contract is sometimes undesired contract. Because when you have to effect an arrest, you must have a contact with any person that committed a particular crime and they have to be arrested. The question is that if we continue in this instance that we have a potential of people that can go out and commit the same thing. So we are not only exposing police officers. They change again that those people will be possibly having contact with the police and go back to the prison. And when they get back to the prison, you are going to tell them the same problem, saying that I've released them because there was congestion and I was voting coronavirus. So the point is that our police officers are concerned because already they don't have capacity, and that's why we have even made a proposal that at least at this moment they should have some sort of departmental collaboration where they can also have similar functions such as the defense medical health system, where they can also be tested on a daily